So this video's purpose is meant for those that are beginning and questioning how to get your first client or first few clients. But the hardest thing in the beginning, guys, is getting your first client, because you don't have any results to show for, and your confidence is, I'm assuming, extremely low, because the results can't boost your confidence, and there is no, evidence that you've done to kind of support who you are and what you're doing. And I get it, and it's hard. And so for me personally, and by extension, I hope this can kind of help you guys understand how to get your first client. In the beginning of SMMA, and for the most part, everyone cold calls, right? Unless you have systems in place, but for the most part, everyone cold calls at least $100 a day. If you're serious about what you're doing, then 150, 200 minimum, even 250 sometimes. And there was a period in time where for a couple of weeks I was doing $200 a day, and that was exhausting, tiring, not fun at all. But it pans out, and it's worth it. Now, cold call. So I would recommend at least $150 to $200 a day, and you're gonna shoot for a 5 to 10% appointment rate, meaning for every 100 calls you do, you're setting at least 5 to 10 appointments, and that's good. Quite honestly, if you're able to pull that off, that's good. Now, the cold call itself, it's the initial discovery, Aaron Burr's mini discovery, and you kind of want to just do hell bridges heaven fuel, right? You kind of want to just do the mini discovery, the mini set call to be a mini Aaron Burr's 10-step framework. And the cold call should last anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. Do not waste your time with gatekeepers or people that aren't the owner. Do not waste your time, because as you guys continue to dial, you're going to realize how few hours you have in a day to actually dial. Now, if you continue to waste 5 to 10 minutes talking to the gatekeeper, having them ask you, hey, what's your name? What's your number? What company are you calling from? Don't do that. It's all bullshit. Every single time I've ever given my number or who I am to a potential gatekeeper, I've never heard back. So I'm telling you guys right now, do not waste time with gatekeepers when cold calling. Just get straight to the point and hang up. Don't be and hang up. Honestly, if they say, "Oh, I'm not the owner," or the owner's in the meeting, all bullshit, all fluff. Hang up. On to the next, because, like I mentioned, you're gonna get done with a day's worth of talking to gatekeepers, and you're gonna be like, "Oh wow, I spent 2 hours today talking to gatekeepers when I could have been actually talking to the owners." And so I'm telling you guys right now from experience, do not waste your time with gatekeepers. Just hang up on the phone, and you're not being rude, you're not being mean, you're on a mission. And if that mission means to hang up on the person because they're not the person in charge or the person you can potentially make a sale to, don't worry about that. And don't worry about hurting people's feelings when it comes to cold calling. It's all completely fine. Because you're eventually going to work with people that need your service. And in the beginning, it's much harder, but you have to be open and transparent as possible. And I spoke about this in one of my earlier videos, but you can lie, you can fake testimonials, but I don't recommend that, because when push comes to shove, you're gonna have nothing to show for, and your results aren't gonna be there. Now, be open and as transparent as possible. My first client was from New Jersey, and I told him, I'm like, listen, man, I'm completely new to this game. Are you willing to give me a chance? I'll work entirely for free. Of course, you pay for the ad spend, but we're not talking about ad spend on the initial call, but that eventually comes. And he was a cool guy. He gave me a chance, and it worked out, right? So you're gonna reach the right prospects, guys. It's just a matter of time in and finding those people. They're out there. They're hungry. They're starving for a good marketer, or for someone that can just work for free and to prove themselves. And for every 100 no's, you're probably going to get 1 to 2 yeses. But set those short-term goals as well when it comes to appointment rate, like 5 to 10% for every 100 turn into an actual appointment. Book them into your calendar, set them up for an appointment over Google Meet, and you can kind of do the Aaron Burr's 10-step framework from there. But again, guys, cold call in the beginning, just be absolutely ruthless on the phone. Do not feel bad about hanging up on people that aren't the owner, because again, you're just wasting your time, and you're going to waste hours over the course of a week or two speaking to people who aren't capable of making decisions for the company. And again, guys, be open and ruthless and as transparent as possible. And people love that. People do love that. Now, you will reach those people, and the people that we do work with, they're cool people. You're going to get a bunch of shit people, and it's going to get hard to kind of keep going when you're just hearing no. but also position yourself and optimize for your environment. If you're just kind of locked away, I get it. It might be a little bit harder than if you're out by the beach or with your friends cold calling and everyone was doing it together. But you always want to optimize your environment too for your success. If you're just doing it alone, it might be a little bit tougher than normal. I mean, I did it alone, locked in the basement, but it was completely fine, and it kind of panned out, and here we are now. But for you guys, optimize your environment for success, and even if that means helping on people that you met through Discord or the internet, the internet's a powerful place, and so try not to do this alone. It's definitely a lot harder alone as opposed to working with a team or with other people who are also beginning. And there are no shortcuts, right? I mean, the truth is just cold call, or to get your first client, send SMS, or if you know what you're doing, start running paid ads. There are a few different options you can do, right? Cold outreach, warm outreach. But for the most part, if you're, this is pretty much more applicable to those with less of a budget or monetary constraints, right? Cold call, that's the solution. Just put the numbers in. If you cold call 200 people a day and you're speaking to the owner, like roughly half of those dials, maybe even more, that's good. And the hardest part is now. It's just a matter of putting the time in, because the hardest part is now. It's only going to get easier from here. And that's exactly why compound interest is an amazing thing, because 4, 5, 6 months into your journey, when you start taking sales calls, you're going to be like, holy shit, closing feels easy. And yeah, that's because the last 4 or 5 months sucked. And you have to go through that in order to actually come out the other side a better person, and one that's actually capable of closing. So in the beginning of your journey, cold call, learn the skills, because the skills will take you long term, and those are what's going to carry you in long term, and it's going to actually make you stand out in the marketplace and on sales calls and when media buying and for life in general, quite honestly. So in the beginning of your journey, cold call, put the work in, and keep refining your craft too. Because if you just continue to cold call and you don't kind of reflect on what you're doing, then you're just going to stay the same. If you're not reflecting on what you're doing, the lessons that you're learning, or how to respond to what this person just said in this way or this way, write everything down on paper, come up with different angles for objection handling, and just become absolutely ruthless. And reflecting and analyzing what you're doing wrong is the most important thing, because if you don't do any of that and you do it for 5 months, you're going to remain the same. And who the hell wants to remain the same after 5 months of not seeing results? I mean, you'd think that you're doing something wrong, right? But sometimes people just kind of have a blind side to their growth, and they're limiting the growth of their company and what they're able to do just because of who they are as a person. And that sucks. But you have to kind of be self-aware and take a step back and realize, oh, wow, did I handle this good? Did I handle this poorly? How could I have handled this better? And get feedback from others, but analyze everything, cold call, and just be as open and honest as possible to potential clients of yours, because people like that. People are willing to give hungry people a shot. And for every 100 no's, you're going to get 1 to 2 yeses as actual clients. And over the course of a week, if you put in 1,000 dials, guys, it's bound that you could close someone. And zero risk, use Alex Hormozi's value equation on these setting calls. Make it zero pressure, zero risk on their end. Put the value there. And I hope this was of value, especially to those that are just beginning. But again, it's not going to be easy. Put the time in, and it's going to yield results. So that's it.